Let's ask ourselves one question. Who are the enemies of the world? Well, one, you've always had the Arabs, always waging war on the world, and the Arabs always wage war on the world. So the Arabs have waged war on the world. That's the truth. Another thing is, who's waging war and how? Is it right or wrong? Now, if someone puts laws, rules, and restrictions on you and trying to control you the wrong way, it's not for your benefit. They're waging war on you. But you have all these so-called rules and what you call laws, not the 7 NOAHIDE laws. These so-called rules that they tell you, the question is who's the they? They tell you these are the rules here. They're waging war on you this way. You see, there are a lot of things that people are not supposed to know about, and due to the fact of that, things are supposed to be taken care of for these people. But these so-called intelligence people, knowing what the Torah says, they want to make a person fail God in a monopoly way. And as you fail, everything's on you and want to live off of you that way. You see, EDOM is America, for example. EDOM knows how to play the game of the Torah when it comes to evil and having people fail and having everything on them. So everything goes on. People who fail want to make people fail more than them. Then they want to live off of these people. Like, for example, if you have a soulmate, another man marries her, right? Maybe, what if that man made you fail completely? He marries her. He could get that man's livelihood. It's called parnasa. He could get that. It's happened all the time. And in the meantime, they're both, on the inside killing this poor guy. It's no secret that, women have done completely stupid things, especially against their soulmates. And because they really don't know, the life of love, the whole life part, I mean, a woman can be a path to life, but they really don't know life. They really don't know life. Knowing the man is usually gentle on the woman, and etc., etc. Should go ahead and take all their shots on them and take full advantage and use the whole complete intelligence thing that women have for themselves. You can use it completely on a man and, try to kill a man on the inside. It's no secret soulmates are blue things and they're married to whoever guys and they're living loser lives, and yes, they do this to themselves, and yes, they're always suffering for it. Women do this all the time. It's about to stop. Women have done the stupidest things, just to hurt a man. Women are stupid in general. That's the truth. That's the truth. Believe it or not. And no, women won't be offended at this. Women won't be offended at this. I know women well. Women are stupid. Women are stupid. You see, now speaking of waging war, what kinds of war can be waged on a person from the lowest to the highest extent? Right or wrong kind. When somebody's doing something against your life and it's wrong, that's also waging war, whether they realize it or not. Other people might join in, whatever. When people start with you for not joining their mob or government mob or gang or whatever, they're waging war on you. So what I'm saying is, people are waging war. People are waging war. Now, who are the enemies of the world? Especially when it comes to waging war. Well, one good example is you have crooked so-called rebbes or whatever, shlitas, haravs, all fake, corrupt. And they do things, for example, against good Jewish people or good religious Jewish people, no matter what they are or are like or not. You see, the spirituality there is crucial because this affects all the Jewish people when you go after crucial areas when it comes to the Torah and religiousness, and men of God especially, holy people especially. So this wages war on a person's spirituality. And when they go against people like this, you have fake religious people, fake holy people, fake leaders, fake spiritual leaders, corrupt spiritual leaders. They also are the enemies of the world because of what they do to the spirituality of the world. Sometimes you feel like shit for a reason. And when you're around them, sometimes you feel like shit for a reason. Sometimes when you're around the person, you feel nervous and not like yourself. It's for a reason. Or sometimes your hands are just shaking for no reason. Maybe you're around very dangerous people. Maybe they have bad intentions for you. You say, I learned Kabbalah. I learned a lot of Kabbalah. And I know about things. I learned about things like this. And yet these so-called leaders say, don't learn Kabbalah until you're 40. Listen, this is all made by false leaders. Torah is Torah. You're not to say how old you're supposed to be to learn any part of Torah. Kabbalah is a part of Torah. Especially saying, I don't want to teach him the laws of masturbation that the Torah teaches because I don't want his thoughts to be whatever. Listen, when it's time to learn something, it's time to learn something. Torah is Torah. Okay? You don't say when and where you're going to learn this kind of things. They do these kind of things. You have all these religious people listening to fake, false leaders, being brainwashed, being, moved out, directed like sheep to the slaughter. Sheep to the slaughter, sheep to the slaughter. This is nonsense. This is nonsense. Real nonsense. Real nonsense. You have all these stupid things going on, and what adds more to the shifting of both sides? To the shifting of both sides. All these things count. You see, people like this are enemies of the world. Sometimes you got to first start with the spiritual part. Find out what the hell is going on. You see, intelligence, especially for the last 5 years, has been used to screw up the spiritual part. You see, intelligence deals mainly with the spirituality. And especially corrupting the intelligence of a person for the wrong reasons, has been done for the last 5 years. You see, intelligence is supposed to be used by, great kings, great leaders, for people to live life where they're taking care of all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Instead, they taught it to evil people and they started using it. So intelligence used to be something that's needed. Intelligence is no longer needed. Why? Because, so all things that have been happening, the standards have been lifted higher, and now there's higher than intelligence. There's life now. But yet people still can't live. Why? They have too many things pending on the inside of themselves. Well, something's pending in your soul. When you feel fear, for example, your soul is saying, watch out. It's for a reason. They try to say it's a mental illness, try to say take medicines to people. When you're feeling scared for a reason, your soul is saying, run to it. Face it. Live on now. Live bigger now. When you're afraid of someone, you know you really failed inside. The question is first, what's on the inside? What's on the inside of whoever? Of who are these people waging war? What's on the inside of these people? What's on the inside of the Arabs, for example? What do you feel on the inside when you're around them, when you talk to them? Do you feel like they want to hurt you? Do you feel like they want to do something to you? Do you feel unsafe? Do you feel unsafe near them? Do you feel like you have to watch out near them? Do you feel impurity near them? Do you feel abuse near them? What do you feel near them? You see, intelligence, along with psychiatry, especially in the last 5 years, have worked together really well in harming a person's mentality and security, especially spiritual security. And they try to tell you, oh, it's a mental, it's that, take medicines. You see, it's been discovered that medicine, psychiatry medicine, that you take it for about, duration of, for a month, then you can't sleep without it. Then you're screwed. So, They're doing things to make people unhealthy for a reason, on purpose. This is along with intelligence. Psychiatry, I found out, was first made for government reasons, to put people in there, to harm them, their health, with chemicals. Especially their sleep. It's called torture. They use it for the right things, on wicked people, on evil people. Then again, they also used it, their start was to use it against heroes and good people. So these so-called mob governments could have their way with whoever they wanted to. That's the truth. That's the truth. It's been discovered. But all this has been done, has been discovered, okay? Egypt made chemicals. Egypt used chemicals back when the Jews were slaves. You see all these chemicals, so-called preservatives in foods? They make you weaker, okay? Things have been passed down. What I like to call documents. Sheepskin, whatever you want to call it. Whatever's been passed down, whatever. These things have been passed down and reused and remade all since America's existence. And America lied about it since existence, too. It's been around for a lot more. You see, they made a deal with the Indians to attack the Jews of Israel and in exile, etc., etc., etc. All in its beginning. It's been discovered. It's been found. It's been found. Psychiatrists for harmful purposes only. Psychiatrists for harmful purposes only. Who wages a war on you mentally? Who wages a war on you mentally? Edom. America is Edom. Rome is Manhattan. And the city Rome in Italy is a cover. But as well, could be Rome as well. It's been Rome in history at the same time as well. For its cover especially. So you want to know where Rome has been and what's Rome to the Romans, the ones who destroyed the temple. Their ancestors, well, it's Manhattan, which is Rome, and they also made Rome, the city Rome in Italy, as well at times when they stationed themselves there and done things there. So both places could be so-called Rome. It's really Manhattan. Rome is Manhattan. Now this is, dating back to about history. This is going back in history, Their ancestors. But they've passed this shit down to each other, and they've told each other verbally, they've written things down, and they want to continue the same bullshit. Things have been found out. You see, they woke up sleeping giants. Now they're panicking, running voluntarily. They're just panicking, running voluntarily. They don't know what to do. They don't know why they feel so, insecure. So what's psychiatry to the world? You gotta ask yourself a question. Another question is, what are today's modern day Kabbalists who know Kabbalah cures and don't teach it to the Jews, who would cure Jews and Gentiles and whoever with Kabbalah? You see, with Kabbalah you can cure. There's also something with white magic, doing white magic curing. That's not for the Jews. Kabbalah curing is for the Jews. Kabbalah curing is for the Jews. You see, these Kabbalists are not fulfilling their obligation according to Torah. They're supposed to teach Torah. This is Torah. They're supposed to teach it. They forgot about the story of, the family not passing down the recipe, what's life in the world to come, according to the Talmud. They're doing the same thing. These so-called leaders need to do what's right. They need to be forced to do what's right. You see, the health condition of the world is kind of not good. People don't know about it. Statistics show, people on top really check things out these days, and they really weren't supposed to say or do anything 5 years ago, for example, and throughout these last 5 years. But now it's time. You see, all this bullshit comes to an end. Light hits the day. Edom has screwed around with the most powerful people without them knowing, and when they were not supposed to be doing anything. Edom is now scared shitless. Edom is now scared shitless. The world is after Edom. The world is after Edom. But the one thing the world is not paying attention to, is the YISHMAELIM. The YISHMAELIM are the Arabs. They descend from Yishmael. The Arabs. The world needs to be on top of the Arabs. The world needs to be on top of the Arabs. You see, if the world isn't on top of the Arabs, very powerful people get pissed off. And they might do something to them. All of them. And the world will be crying. I'm saying, I'm doing the right thing by saying this. Don't let this end up in their hands. A guy like me would want it to end up in their hands, because I'm going to party too. But I'm doing the right thing by saying this, no matter what I want. I'm doing the right thing by saying this, is don't let it end up in their hands. Because then there's going to be a party on their asses forever and ever. Because they truly don't realize what they've done. But they truly meant it to the whole, and meant it on the whole world. So who are the enemies of the world? The Arabs are the enemies of the world. That's the truth. Mind you, as well. Who's waging war on the whole world? The Arabs are. Who started putting in effect and making more rules and doing all these things with Edom? Since whenever, God knows whenever, with all these rules and all this patient waiting and lines and shit, purposely done. All intelligence as well. Who's done all this? Who's wasting everyone's time? Who's waging war every way they can? Who's waging war every way they can? On the whole world. On the whole world. Especially with all these rules and restrictions. The Arabs are. Who's saying, defend these laws, call lawyer, and defend these man-made laws, and not the 7 Noahide laws, and don't enforce the 7 Noahide laws, and don't go by the 7 Noahide laws, don't follow the 7 Noahide laws. Who's saying this? The Arabs. Who don't follow the 7 Noahide laws? The Arabs. Now, the enemies of the Jewish people are as well always the enemies of the world. When you have Lubavitchers saying the Lubavitcher Rebbe is King Mashiach, he is not King Mashiach. That's also an enemy of the world. Why? They're putting down all the great men, especially the great men that are not corny, especially the great men that have not worked with the Erev Zer and have defeated the Erev Zer. Who's the Erev Zer? Corrupt, fake religious people, corrupt, fake holy people, corrupt, fake leaders, corrupt, fake holy leaders. The Haravs, the so-called Rebbe's of today, the so-called Shlitas of today, and their people, their flocks, whatever you want to call it, their sheep, These are the enemies of the Jewish people as well. And their helpers, whether they realize what they're doing or not, are enemies as well. What are they spewing spiritually? What do you feel on the inside when they tell you the Lubavitch Rebbe is King Mashiach? How are they insulting King Mashiach? God bless him, whoever he is. God bless him, whoever he is. How are they degrading the Mashiach? How are they degrading the Mashiach? It's been said the Lubavitcher Rebbe is a reincarnation of King Hiskiyahu, King Hezekiah. Very nice. He's no King Hezekiah. He's no King Hezekiah though. He's no King David. He's no King David in today's days even. They're spreading and spewing the coyness all the time. They're saying the Lubavitcher Rebbe is King Mashiach. And they want you to wear tefillin and do all these mitzvot through this impurity of saying he is King Mashiach. He didn't authorize any of this bullshit. He didn't okay any of this bullshit. You see, their leaders, the Lubavitch leaders, they don't have any Lubavitch leaders anymore. They're doing this by themselves. They were warned a few years ago. You keep going with this shit, you keep degrading and putting down somebody like the Lubavitch Rebbe, these spiritual leaders okaying all this shit are going to have Pulsa Denuras put on them by Kabbalists, in Israel especially. They're not here anymore. These Pulsa Denuras take care of them. Pulsa Denuras take care of them. Believe me, the world doesn't want to know what a Pulsa Denur is. Believe me, the world doesn't want to know what a Pulsa Denur is. They're gone now. No longer with us. No longer with us. Thank God. The world's a lot cleaner without them. Thank God. Thank God. When someone attacks you, you gotta ask yourself how. It doesn't have to be physical. How are they attacking you? What are their intentions to you, especially? What do they mean? What are they meaning to you? What are their means? What are their means? What are the results? What are the results? Have they succeeded with their means? Do they keep trying? Do they keep trying to succeed with their means? The enemies of the Jewish people, the wrong enemies of the Jewish people, are the enemies of the world as well. It's for the Jews to take care of primarily, though. EDOM is the enemy of the Jewish people. The Arabs are the enemies of the Jewish people. The Arabs are the enemies of the world. The Arabs are always waging war on the world. The Arabs are waging war on the world. The Arabs have waged war on the world. All the Arabs have waged war on the world. All the Arabs have waged war on the world. And when you have, countries or wherever you're going, they're telling you, or America telling you, there's freedom of speech here. There's freedom of speech everywhere. They're trying to say these are the rules, but it's free here, though, for you. You're free everywhere, man. In America, you're not free. The world is free. In America, you're not free. They're all lies. It's all propaganda. Rules on you is like imprisoning you, restricting you is like imprisoning you and keeping you in one room only all the time. Arabic torture. You don't understand this is called waging war on you. You don't understand this is called waging war on you. Psychiatry wages war all the time. Psychiatry wages war all the time, for example. They've always worked with intelligence. It's usually government run. Mob government. This is the truth. Unless you need to see a psychiatrist, unless you're already messed up, for whatever reasons, then you see one. You really don't need to see one. You don't see one. Okay? Throwing people in there and locking them up because, for example, stories that I've heard, somebody called and made something up about them, and they just took them and brought them there. And they don't let them out for a while. You're waging war on them. You're trying to say, look, we have all this power, we have a military, we have all these rules, we'll call the police, or we'll call the military. If you really try to defend yourself, and we'll put your ass in there, we're waging war on you because we're more powerful than you. That's what they're saying. We're waging war on you, But you didn't know that. You didn't know that, though. They are waging war on you. They are waging war on you. These emergency people, the so-called police, have waged war on you. If somebody calls and makes something up on you, they'll most likely bring you there. Or stories that I heard. They seen a very handsome man or heroes. Somebody called and they just came to check it out to see if they should bring them or not. They brought him there. They see he's a complete loser, a complete failure. Oh, it's okay. I feel better about myself. I won't take it there. For example, who are policemen to go to a handsome man who shouldn't even be thinking or saying, I didn't do anything wrong. without knowing what's going on, without knowing. To be touched by a so-called policeman. You're touching the wrong fucking guys. They don't want you to be with women, especially. If you're a good person, for example. How do they hold you down? How do they hold you down? What's another way of waging war? What's another way of waging war? You'd be surprised. Women go by this shit. Women go by this shit. You show women a little bit of evil. You show women a little bit of evil. They say, oh, we don't want these good men to be with women. They say, okay, we're with it. We're with it. Why? Get them in trouble. Get them in trouble. Women have gotten good men and the right kinds of men in trouble all the time. All the time. Throughout history. With imprisoning, with psychiatry, and government always likes the so-called mob government. You see whatever on TV, you see on TV, like to go to women all the time and say, listen, we want to get them in trouble, we need you to make something up. We have all this intelligence, teach them a little intelligence. Of course women know about intelligence too. And they've done things with them, they've done things with them. To hurt a guy, wow, what kind of cheating measures they've gone with, and cheating with their husbands, and you know, cheating on their boyfriends, or whatever it is. Marrying men for money, marrying men for money. You have a gold digger, for example. She wants to marry you for your money. Is she bad for your spirituality? Is she bad for your spiritual health? How do you feel with her? Do you exert a lot of energy dealing with her bullshit? When you exert a lot of energy, if you don't have anything left, listen, you might end up coughing or sneezing. You might end up having some allergic reactions. You might end up feeling unhealthy. Is she unhealthy for you? Is she life or death for you? On the inside, that's the question. Now if she is, how does all this extract on the outside? Could you get sick on the outside? If you exert so much energy in dealing with her bullshit, and you're tired, would you have people seeing your vulnerability or your weakness coming after you to take your wallet, to mug you, to try to kill you? Would crime break out? Would things break out? These are all questions you need to ask yourselves. These are all questions you need to ask yourselves. You see, I'm speaking with Kabbalah here. I'm speaking with Kabbalah here. The mystical side to it. The mystical side to it all. What's right and what's wrong, right? What's right and what's wrong, right? Good and evil? I'm sorry, but the world has really gone way out of line with when it comes to good and evil. The world needs to be focusing on what's right and wrong now. Good and evil? Their manifestations are right. Right and wrong. That's the manifestations grown. You know? It's the responsibility of the world right now to even deal with the things that the big leagues deal with. You gotta cut the mustard now. The world has truly went out of line by letting these Arabs do whatever they wanted for the last 5 years. You've joined with evil. You've joined with the evil. Without knowing what the hell is going on. They put so much danger. They put you in so much danger. You just quit on yourselves. You quit on between you and God. The world has forgotten between them and God. What is between them and God? It's all about your relationship with God. It's all about your closeness with God. They've made you go far away from God. They've made you stray from God. They made you stray from your Father in heaven. Listen, God created all of us. We're all God's children, right? The Jewish people is God's older son. God created all of us. God is our Father in heaven. God is our Father in heaven. Who's trying to kill you like a bad sibling? A young one or an older one? Russia likes to. I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about in general. For example, what has Russia done or tried to do to the world throughout history? It's been discovered that Russia is the home to AMALEKim. Germany has AMALEKim a lot. France has a lot of AMALEKim. He's the enemies of the Jews as well. What would they do to Gentiles if they try to get involved in helping the Jew do the right thing, whether they should or shouldn't, innocently or not? Or would it benefit them to go against Gentiles or a Gentile if it would help annihilate a Jew, for example? This is what they do. This is what they do. You don't blame Jews for this shit. You do what's right or wrong. You've got to really pay attention to who's trying to do what, and what are the means. What are the means? The people on top of the world have been working their asses off for the last 5 years. The right kinds of people to keep people safe. and sound. This shit is not over. This shit is not over. The world is used to bullshit. The world is used to bullshit now. Who are the enemies of the world? Who are the helpers to EDOM? Who are the connections and friends to EDOM? Who are the helpers, connections, and friends to the Arabs? Is the question mainly here. You see, everyone has done so much, and everyone's let the Arabs do so much. Is you have to climb a ladder now just to get to them. As if they're the kings of the world now. As if they're the kings of the world now. They say all this shit, but then again they made all these rules and made sure all these rules come intact in all these countries, saying, you know, you can say whatever you want, your rights are your rights. There are no your rights. There are no your rights. What are your God-given rights? What are your God-given rights? The world is supposed to be free of all this laws and all these laws and rules and restrictions bullshit, honestly. There's one big party waiting to happen. There's one big party waiting to happen. The world is about to party. The world is about to party. And who keeps stopping and winning? EDOM is. The Arabs are. And all of their friends, helpers, and connections. They want to do evil. They want to do evil to the world. They want to do evil to the world. They want to be evil. They want to be evil. They want the whole world to be evil. They want the whole world to be evil. They do things that self-sacrifice as well, especially against the Jews. They want you to self-sacrifice yourself. And become so evil, you can go through all the pain. Self-sacrifice yourself to go against the Jews' mission in life. This is what they want everyone to do. Jews and Gentiles. Jews and Gentiles. You see, for example, how the news lies, the TV lies. You know, a long while ago they said on TV, you know, something about Syria. It wasn't true. Syria didn't do anything. Syria had nothing to do with anything. They made a lie up just to start with Syria because they wanted something from Syria. Syria thought there was something going on. So things started happening. They started fighting. So you tell Arabs there's something going on, they stop fighting, they stop fighting. They made something happen. They made fights happen. That's all. And the Syrians became so evil and so bad and so wrong that it had to be taken care of by big leagues compared to them. By big leagues compared to them. Not the big leagues. Not the big leagues. And they ended up getting fucked. Fucked. Because they went so wrong. But it wasn't their fault in the beginning, though. But where did they get to, though? Where did they continue, though? They went wrong. They saw it wasn't their fault, but they continued it afterwards. But who caused them to get there? The lies that you saw on TV. The enemies of the world prevent technologies from coming out, patents from coming out, good music from coming out. I mean, if you're a loser and shit and you fail yourself, they say, okay, yo, we'll let you walk, do whatever you want, right? Because you're not doing anything right afterwards. They let these people walk. They don't put these people in prison even if they deserve it. They don't do anything to these people. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. They don't let good songs come out. They see a bad song, they let it come out. They make bad songs purposely. They pay artists purposely to make bad songs, to annoy people, and to cover up with intelligence. You don't know what intelligence is. The world doesn't know what intelligence is. They should know what it is, but a little bit of knowledge should be revealed in the matter due to all the screw-ups and to all the screw-jobs that have been put out there. Nobody should get involved with intelligence if they don't know what the hell it is. It's not for them. Intelligence is not needed anymore, honestly. There's something beyond intelligence now. The superpowers in the world are taking care of things now. Things have gotten very serious now. Especially for EDOM. EDOM keeps saying, this is serious when it's not. When it's not. These people are preventing the world from living life. Okay? The world could be partying right now. The world could be at a much better and funner state happier and freer state, and really nice and good, the way things were a long time ago, even better, even better. And these people, the enemies of the world, are not letting it happen. Who are the enemies of the world? The wrong kinds of people, the ones doing wrong for the wrong purposes and the wrong reasons. They made it like this: if they see you know you're holy, they go after your all, they try to take your all, they try to take everything away from you, keep you down as much as possible. Gentiles can't keep Jews down. They actually walked by going like, he's just a regular loser. Purposely. That's nothing. The Jewish people is God's older son. That's the truth. That's the truth. You see, Adam had a mission in life. Adam was created big. That was Adam. That was Adam himself. He was created a Gentile. Abraham Avinu, Yitzhak Avinu, Yaakov Avinu became YISRAEL. That man was a Jewish Adam. He didn't even reach his potential. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't even reach his potential. You see, there are different standards, levels, and maidennesses when it comes to Gentiles and Jews. The Jews have to make it on a maid level. If you're Jewish, you have the mission from God. And no Gentile shouldn't be playing around with Jews when it comes to these things. Things get very serious. Gentiles don't know anything, and they think they know everything, especially with their so-called intelligences. It's all nonsense compared to, what the Jewish people know and have. Jewish people don't say anything. The Gentiles think they have all these weapons and stuff. You don't know weapons. You don't know weapons at all. You don't know what the Jewish people know. You know what the Jewish people have. I'm not talking about Israel. I'm talking about the Jewish people. I'm talking about the Jewish people, Israel included. Israel included. It's always been secret that if Israel really screws up, other Jewish people intervene from exile. And it gets serious on Israel. And it gets serious on Israel. That's the truth. That's the truth. Yes, Israel gets spanked. Yes, Israel knows it gets spanked. But Israel shouldn't go over the top. Israel shouldn't go over the top. You see, they joined the world in this laws, rules, restrictions bullshit. Israel has in truth, with all of this bullshit, become the enemies to the 10 lost tribes in exile. Because unless you don't join Israel in whatever, that's the secret. That's the secret here. They will not let you live there. They do not let Jews build even hotels or even better apartment buildings there. They will not let you live there unless you go with something with Israel that is evil there. Even the spirituality describes it like that. They will not let you live there. They will provoke you so much that you never come back to Israel to visit even. People have visited Israel, Jews especially. It's been found that they've been caught putting them on TV saying they're new to Israel, they're in Israel for the first time. Let's fuck with them. Or on TV saying something like, let's try to, do something serious like this to them. You don't do things like this. They're trying to say you're in Israel, you're in country alone. Yes, with the Jews there. They're not the Jews. The Jews, they're a tribe or two, that's all. Tribe of Yosef. You're trying to say you're surrounded, you're alone now. What are you going to do? The guy's lost somewhere. Starving to death. Nothing's there. Nothing's there. I should ask you, where are you staying? Where are you staying? They want to make it hard for you. They want to tell the hotel people to make it an inconvenience for you. Do publicity to you. Passport. The Jewish people are going to be asking these Israeli people, what are their passports soon? Where are their passports? Where are their passports soon? They're going to be sending their asses flying out into exile. They're going to exile them. They're going to exile them. They keep fucking around like this. All of them are going to get exiled. All of them are going to get exiled. Israel will get exiled if it has to be exiled. Israel will get exiled if it has to be exiled. The Jewish people are too big. The 10 lost tribes are too big to do it personally. The wrong kinds of people under them will get it done if they have to. Will get it done if they have to. The 10 lost tribes doesn't need to waste their time on loser Israel, a loser tribe of Yosef, or the tribe of Binyamin joining them. Doesn't need to. Doesn't need to. Israel does whatever it can to not let the 10 lost tribes live in Israel, or build Israel, make Israel what it was before, a long, long time ago, for them to enjoy it there, with technology and everything, every other thing, best things. They don't let them build there, they don't let them do anything, they don't let them open business there, they don't even let them do it through Israelis, and they prefer to do it through Israelis. So Israelis are watching and doing it. They don't let anything happen. They don't let anything go. All they want to do is keep the 10 lost tribes in exile from not living in Israel. They offer all this Aliyah shit with a lot of intelligence covering things up. There's a lot of things done that people don't know about. Okay? They're very slick. They're very slick. You gotta give them that. They have a great military prowess. But then again, they don't know what the hell miracle prowess is. They don't know what the hell holy people prowesses are. They don't know what a man of God is. They don't know what the hell King David is. They don't know who the hell King David is, to be honest with you. They don't know King David types. They don't know Yehuda types. They don't even know Yosef types. They sure as hell don't know Naphtali tribe types. They sure as hell don't know Naphtali tribe types. They don't know woo types. They don't know woo types. They don't know the danger types. Israel is babies. Israel are babies to the 10 lost tribes. 10 lost tribes are ready. 10 lost tribes are ready. Israel, you see, you waged war on the 10 lost tribes. Israel. No one can save you from the 10 lost tribes. No one can save you from the 10 lost tribes. Not America. EDOM is America. You joined EDOM. You joined EDOM. EDOM can't save you. The Arabs can't save you. The descendants of Yishmael, the Arabs, can't save you. The world of Gentiles can't save you. The NOAHIDES can't save you. Nobody can save you. Nobody can save you. Who are the enemies of the Jewish people? Who are the Jewish people? Who are the Jewish people? Again. Who are the enemies of the Jewish people? Who are the enemies of the Jewish people? Israel, you become the enemies of the Jewish people. Israel, you become the enemies of the Jewish people. You will get squashed if you have to. You will get squashed if you have to. By all of the Jewish people. By all of the Jewish people. If it's my turn to personally get involved, I mean, you know what I did for you. I mean, I secured all of Israel. Forever and ever. I mean, you know what I did for you. Let's hope it's not my turn to get involved. I'm where I am for a reason. I'm where I am for a reason. The people on top are taking care of things. The people on top are taking care of things. They had to go all the way to the bottom the last 5 years just to do it. Purposely going all the way to the bottom. And safely making their way back where it's supposed to be. Israel, you betrayed the Jewish people. Israel, you betrayed the Jewish people. Israel, paved the way for the Jewish people to live in Israel once again. Israel, paved the way for the Jewish people to live in Israel once again. Before it gets serious on you. Before it gets serious on you. You will be defeated if it has to be done. You will be defeated if it has to be done. Israel, you will be defeated by the Jewish people if it has to be done. Israel, you will be defeated by the Jewish people if it has to be done. You understand me, tribe of Yosef? You understand me, tribe of Binyamin? You live as tribes. You live as tribes. We live as Yisrael. We live as Yisrael. We are the Jewish people. We are the Jewish people. Again. We live as the Jewish people. We live as the Jewish people. We know what you've done now. We know what you've done now. Israel, do the right thing now. Israel, do the right thing now. Before it's too late. Before it's too late. Then you'll see, you'll be crying, and there's nothing anyone will do about it. Nobody will help you. Nobody will save you. The world will even voluntarily join the Jews just to fuck you the right way. Don't let it get there, Israel. Don't let it get there, Israel. Enough is enough. You've done enough publicity to visitors who visited there. Anyways, you don't make people not want to visit Israel ever again. It's the Holy Land. Don't desecrate the Holy Land. And most of all, stop turning against holy people and stop turning Jews and Gentiles in the world against holy people. You keep doing this shit with the Arabs. Israel, you paved the way for all of this. Israel, you paved the way for all of this. You see, when the world has tried attacking the Jews, they confused it with attacking the tribe of Yosef or attacking all the Jewish people. You see, it's the tribe of Yosef that's like that. Like that. The pities. It's not the Jewish people in exile. It's not the 10 lost tribes. It's not the 10 lost tribes. It's always and only the tribe of Yosef. The tribe of Binyamin joins them. And they share the same fate and defenses. They end up right at the end, because still yet at the end they're more right than their Gentile enemies and their bad Jewish enemies. They lived on a defense. Yet they still would choose to live like this, just to do policy on everyone. So nobody right lives in Israel. Nobody right even steps foot in Israel. All you see is evil people. All you see is evil people in Israel. Israel, do what's right when it comes to Israel. And don't do what's wrong. Do what's right, especially with these so-called stupid laws and rules. You come to a damn airport with a one-way ticket because you don't know how long you're going to stay there for. And they tell you can't stay in Israel more than 2 months. Bullshit. You don't say this shit to anyone. They just don't want you to catch them doing what they're doing all the time. That's what they want you to stay there on. That's to make sure you get out. So you don't tell the rest of the Jewish people. You don't want to know what Israelis are up to all the time. And it's not the Gentiles' business. They should stay out of Jewish business from now on, before the 10 lost tribes shows them that they should. You see, the Gentiles have confused the 10 lost tribes with the tribe of Yosef. They confused all the Jewish people with the tribe of Yosef. It's really Israel that the whole world has been after, not all the Jews in exile, not the 10 lost tribes in exile. Not the 10 lost tribes in exile again. Israel doesn't mind things escalating to world wars as long as they're out of it and the 10 lost tribes are in it. God damn. Yeah, 10 lost tribes are only going easy at world wars. The 10 lost tribes are only going easy all the time. The 10 lost tribes are only going easy all the time. Israel likes to provoke. Israel likes to provoke. Israel, you've died for provoking. Israel, you've died for provoking. I've heard things like freaking... I've heard stories like freaking you have Jews who've had enough and did the wrong thing and ended up right at the end. They fucking tortured you to death. They tortured you to death. They just left. They just left. You're provoking people to this shit, though. You taught the world of Gentiles to provoke Jews, especially holy people, especially endlessly, to provoke them to kill them. How do you provoke somebody to kill you, and then they want to put you in jail for losing control and snapping? It's waging war. It's waging war on a person. Everyone's doing this shit now. Trying to provoke you, do something wrong, for you to do something wrong, but it could be, it's right for you one way or the other, but it's wrong in general. It's wrong in the full scope of the view to go and fight someone just like that, unless it's a self-defense matter. And they put them in jail. They try to kill them in jail. They're trying to kill the right kinds of people in jail. They're trying to kill good people in jail. They're trying to kill Jewish people in jail. They're trying to kill holy people in jail. Jail needs to be checked out. Jail, today's days, except for Israel, jail is a way to wage war on a person or on people. They hire criminals to go there and be prisoners there to kill. Yes, they're the ones acting like they own the prison. Like, yeah, we're in a prison, we are prison, we can handle prison. They're the bubbas of prison. They're the bubbas of prison. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You truly need God's help if you're in prison. You truly need God's help if you're in prison. If you're Jewish. If you're Jewish, that is. Israel, who are the enemies of the world? We know. You need to know now. As a country, you need to do the right thing now. Israel, do the right thing with EDOM. Israel, do the right thing with America. Again, Israel, do the right thing with EDOM. For the 10 lost tribes, don't give a flying fuck because they've been provoked enough. And they're going to do the wrong thing with EDOM, and they're going to win that way. They're going to do the worst to EDOM. Israel, as a country, intervene right now in the world before EDOM gets slaughtered, annihilated by the 10 lost tribes. So they've had enough from what I heard. They've had enough from what I heard. The Jewish warriors have had enough from what I heard. The Jewish warriors have had enough from what I heard. They don't even want to hear it from them. They don't even want to hear it from women. Women cannot stop them. You see, these women that betrayed them, especially for the Arabs, they cannot stop their husbands, they cannot stop their boyfriends, they cannot stop, especially the Jewish warriors out there. No women can stop the Jewish warriors out there now. It's about to get extremely serious on EDOM. And there's no comparison to what you can do to EDOM, even Justice League, to what will happen to them by the rest of the Jewish people, the rest of the Jewish warriors out there. I know who they are. They're very pissed off. They're very pissed off at Israel especially. Israel, do the right thing. Who's number one to the enemies of the world? And who's number one to the enemies of the Jewish people? The Arabs are. Again, the question is, who are the enemies of the world?